There is a movement occurring in the spiritual atmosphere around you that your heart is already picking up on. It manifests as a profound internal restlessness that defies simple explanation. You feel a quiet, persistent stirring, a wakefulness in the depths of the night, and a constant low-frequency whisper suggesting a massive shift is imminent. These sensations are far from accidental. They are not the product of a troubled mind or mere coincidence. In fact, heaven is actively preparing your spirit for a spectacular divine rendezvous, a sacred and deep connection that was decreed for you long before you ever formulated the words to pray for it. Every odd emotion, every sudden withdrawal from certain people, and every moment of unexpected introspection has been the divine orchestrator working behind the scenes. God has been meticulously clearing and rearranging your life's pathway, and soon, what has existed only in the invisible realm will suddenly manifest and become visible right before your astonished eyes. This impending event is not exclusively about finding romantic love, although that is often the beautiful result. It is fundamentally about the perfect convergence of divine timing, unshakable destiny, and your simple obedience to the inner nudges. You have been selected to undergo and experience a life transformation that can only fully ignite once your inner spirit and your true life purpose align on the exact same vibrational frequency. Therefore, I urge you to remain highly alert and fully present in this moment, because within the next few minutes, you will receive clarity on why those inexplicable feelings and circumstances were never random events. They were clear, unmistakable signals transmitted from heaven. If you are currently experiencing that deep internal pull, that almost palpable, quiet electricity coursing through your chest, consider this moment your definitive confirmation. The individual God has chosen specifically for you is already in motion and on their way. Before we delve deeper into this powerful truth, take a long, deliberate breath right now and inwardly affirm your readiness. Type 99 in the comments below. This is the numerical signature of divine completion, signifying that your season of patient waiting is swiftly concluding, and the promised sacred connection is being released into your reality. Take a moment to acknowledge this message by liking the video, if your heart recognizes that the time for change is here. And be sure to subscribe so you never miss another crucial message intended directly for your spirit's growth and guidance. The holy shaking, internal preparation, when the divine hand prepares to utterly rewrite the narrative of your life. It doesn't initiate the process by altering the circumstances immediately surrounding you. The transformation starts first with what lies deep within you. Long before the visible miracle has a chance to fully appear, your very spirit begins to subtly tremble with encrypted signals that your rational mind simply cannot yet decipher. It is important to realize this is not conventional anxiety, even though it may feel like an intense, unfamiliar storm gathering beneath your ribs. It is not fear, despite your thoughts racing with no clear direction. What you are feeling is a divine vibration, the necessary, sacred trembling that precedes a profound revelation. You find yourself waking up abruptly in the deepest part of the night, a curious mixture of both a heavy heart and intense expectation. You feel a compelling draw to enter into prayer, yet you can't pinpoint the specific need you are praying for. A strange, powerful energy flows through your days, a complex blend of profound tension and an unfamiliar peace, a confusing mix of internal chaos and stark clarity. This is precisely how heaven communicates just before it makes its move. God is intentionally shaking and disturbing what has become stagnant or comfortable within you, actively creating and preparing the necessary internal space for the life-altering reality that is about to step into your world. Recall the story of Zechariah standing faithfully at the altar. He didn't hear dramatic trumpets or see spectacular flashes of lightning descending from the sky. He simply felt it, a deep, inexplicable, sacred disturbance. His heart began to quicken. His pulse changed its familiar rhythm, signaling that something monumental was approaching, something that would completely alter the trajectory of his existence. That inner restlessness he experienced was not sent as a punishment or a trial. It was prophecy in live motion. The vibration had already been activated, and was resonating before the angel even made its visible appearance. It's highly likely you are sensing this exact phenomenon right now. An undeniable, invisible force pulling you toward the new, the sacred, the holy. You make every effort to maintain your normal routine, but nothing feels normal or satisfying anymore. Casual conversations seem incredibly shallow. Places that once provided comfort now feel oddly foreign. Even the familiar sound of your own inner monologue seems to echo a previous, less evolved version of yourself. This is not a sign of instability or mental distress. It is a powerful spiritual acceleration. God is actively detaching you from the vibrational frequencies that lack the necessary capacity to carry the weight of your next, higher chapter. He is intentionally using this period of discomfort to fully awaken your spiritual discernment and clarity. Every profound sigh, every moment of unexpected, inexplicable emotion, every sleepless night, none of these occurrences are random. They are the constant holy whisper of heaven saying, "Pay attention, my child. I am drawing near." When heaven genuinely begins to move in your distinct direction, your physical body possesses the innate ability to sense it before your mind can assign a name to it. Your very cells start to powerfully respond to this new divine momentum. This is the profound reason why you struggle to remain still or settle down. You pray and feel an intense, palpable warmth spreading through your chest. You engage in worship and tears suddenly flow from a mysterious, unknown source. You walk in silence and have the distinct feeling of being watched, not by any person, but by a higher, compelling purpose. Something truly greater is hovering in the space around you, waiting for your complete internal alignment. Every time you feel that unique inner stirring, it is your spirit synchronizing flawlessly with the clock of divine timing. Restlessness is a signal. Always hold onto this crucial truth. Restlessness is not a precursor to chaos. It is a clear, directional signal. God rarely, if ever, sends perfect peace before revelation. More often, He first sends tension, because tension is the absolute proof that a profound structural transformation is incredibly close. Consider the atmosphere just before a life-giving rainstorm. The sky darkens dramatically. The air becomes heavy and thick. The wind shifts its direction abruptly. It feels intensely uncomfortable, but that pressure is necessary proof that something significant is about to burst open and be released. This is precisely your current location. You are standing in that sacred, uncomfortable divine tension, the narrow space between the reality of who you were and the spectacular being you will be. The intense shaking and inner upheaval you feel is not designed to utterly break your spirit. It is intended purely and simply to wake you up to your current reality. Even Mary felt it. Before she ever witnessed the empty tomb, her soul was intensely stirred and drawn. She couldn't rationally explain why she felt compelled to go to the tomb that particular morning. She was simply led, powerfully drawn by an invisible magnetic force. The very spirit that resurrected Christ from the dead was already actively pulling her toward the miracle that was about to unfold. She didn't possess the understanding then, but her simple, trusting obedience to that holy restlessness perfectly positioned her to become a first-hand witness to glory. This is the exact dynamic playing out in your life right now. The divine meeting that your heart has yearned for is already in full motion, and your spirit is already picking up the distinct, faint sound of its approaching footsteps. Do not, under any circumstances, try to silence or dismiss that stirring. Do not rationalize it away as simple overthinking or temporary loneliness. It is none of those things. It is prophecy vibrating powerfully inside your chest. It is destiny gently knocking before it makes its grand entrance. Every time you pause, breathe, and fully feel that unexplainable pulse, that sudden warmth in your heart, that invisible magnet pulling you forward, that is your personal signal. Heaven is near, and the one who is specifically meant to recognize and mirror your soul is being drawn by this same spiritual current. Separation is elevation. There comes a definitive, quiet, yet utterly undeniable moment when the entire landscape of your world begins to subtly change. People who once felt like your safe harbor now feel inexplicably distant. Familiar conversations have lost all their former depth. Invitations and calls stop coming as frequently. You look around and an unmistakable feeling settles in your spirit. You no longer truly fit where you once belonged. This is not personal rejection. It is divine redirection. This is the essential first step heaven takes to completely clear the stage before a spectacular, divine encounter is introduced. God does not simply add new life before he subtracts the old. He must first remove what is currently draining your precious energy, what is anchoring your soul to a past season, and what prevents you from fully stepping into sacred alignment. This separation is not a form of punishment. It is divine precision. You may find yourself wondering, why is everyone around me changing? But the profound truth is, it's not truly them. It is you. You are spiritually evolving at a new, higher frequency that many people in your current circle can no longer resonate with or match. You begin to speak about faith and purpose, while they remain focused on fear and comfort. You are shifting to a new spiritual dimension, and they are still living comfortably in the old, lower season. Do not attempt to force connections where God has clearly placed a disconnection. When you begin to feel truly isolated, it is often because you have been handpicked for something substantially higher. God deliberately isolates you in order to elevate your spiritual altitude. Before he introduces you to the one he perfectly designed for you, he must first detox your entire environment. Consider the biblical figure of Abraham. Before he could become the father of nations, he received a command that must have sounded devastatingly cruel. Leave your country, your relatives and your father's house, and go to the land I will show you. God didn't give him the destination. He simply said, go. Abraham's complete obedience immediately unlocked his destiny. The great unknown became his intense training ground. Had he resisted and stayed behind, he would have missed the promise. The separation was the door, powerfully disguised as a loss. You may very well be walking through that same kind of invisible door right now. Perhaps a friend you trusted deeply suddenly pulled away without warning. Maybe a relationship that felt eternal collapsed without a proper explanation. Perhaps the crowd that once celebrated your every move now moves past you in silence. Do not chase after closure when God has already definitively closed the chapter. He removes the temporary to replace it with the eternal. He detaches with precision to actively protect your future. What is truly meant to walk with you into that divine union will never require any force. It will simply flow naturally. Look at the story of Ruth. Her journey of destiny began in deep mourning, not in immediate joy. Her husband died. Her home disappeared. Her sense of stability vanished completely. Yet within that intensely painful separation, God subtly planted a new direction. She chose to cling to Naomi and leave Moab, not realizing she was literally walking straight toward the divine appointment, waiting for her in Boaz. Had she resisted and fought against that necessary season of loss, she would have missed the promise entirely. The deep loneliness you are currently experiencing may simply be the profound sound of heaven actively rearranging your path. Yes, it hurts, but this pain is not without purpose. You are effectively shedding old attachments that cannot survive in the high altitude of your next spiritual level. Some friendships were built purely for survival, not for destiny. Some relationships taught you crucial lessons, but they lacked the capacity to carry you to your purpose. And some connections, while perfectly comfortable, are actively blocking the greater alignment that is meant to change your entire life's blueprint. God will never permit anything eternal to be permanently removed from your life. If it departed, it was inherently temporary. If it remains, it is eternally divine. This is the profound reason why certain places suddenly feel oppressively heavy. You walk into rooms you once enjoyed, and something deep inside you whispers, "You do not belong here anymore." This is not arrogance. It is spiritual awareness. Heaven is actively upgrading your atmosphere. You cannot linger in environments that no longer align with your growth. You cannot continue to pour your precious spirit into spaces that were never designed to hold the magnitude of your purpose. So if your phone is quieter, if your inner circle is significantly smaller, if your path feels undeniably lonely, please take deep spiritual heart. God achieves his most powerful work in profound solitude. Every single divine encounter is preceded by a divine separation. It is within this profound silence that he clearly whispers your new instructions. It is in the stark absence of the familiar that he sharpens your discernment. You begin to see with crystal clarity who genuinely valued your spirit and who was merely attached to your old identity. This clarity can sting, but it is the sole way you will be able to instantly recognize the one God chose for you when they finally arrive. Because now, you possess the wisdom to distinguish between a person who simply mirrors your old emptiness and one who powerfully mirrors your true purpose. So I urge you, do not retreat to what is clearly fading. Do not attempt to revive what God has already buried and ended. Every single name that has been deliberately erased from your current chapter is actively making room for one sacred name, written by His very hand. Release the fear that you are losing people, because you are not losing. You are fundamentally leveling up. The soil must be turned and tilled before the precious seed can break open and bloom. The separation is not a final ending. It is the sacred opening, and somewhere in this exact moment, someone else is experiencing this identical divine pull, stepping away from their own old connections, clearing their own sacred space, and walking through their own holy loneliness. Heaven is perfectly synchronizing both of your paths without either of you fully realizing it. When the timing finally converges, every single goodbye will suddenly make profound sense. Every period of silence will possess a clear, divine purpose. Every empty space will powerfully echo with sacred meaning. The true significance of this separation is not about who departed. It is entirely about who is coming. Soon, you will look back and understand with perfect clarity why God needed to fully empty your hands before He could place the magnitude of your destiny within them. The glow of transformation. Something truly extraordinary happens when heaven initiates a fundamental shift in your identity. It begins subtly, almost unnoticeable at first. Perhaps you start sleeping with a deeper peace, feeling lighter in your spirit, and profoundly calmer. You catch your reflection unexpectedly and realize a subtle but significant change. Your eyes carry a deeper peace. Your posture is infused with a quiet, certain confidence. Even the way you inhale and exhale feels uniquely new. You cannot articulate it, but people around you begin to notice. They remark, "You look fundamentally different," and they are right. You are no longer burdened by the same invisible weight. What they are witnessing is not a change in appearance or clothing. It is the visible, undeniable evidence of an invisible, powerful encounter. God has been working tirelessly in the unseen, and now the glorious transformation is becoming physically evident. This phase is not focused on mere appearances. It is about vibrational frequency. Your spirit has elevated, and your body is now following suit. The radiant glow on your skin is the mirror reflection of a profound healing that began deep inside your core. The way you now walk is in perfect rhythmic alignment with divine timing. The peace in your tone, the quiet grace in your movements, the startling calm in your eyes. All of it testifies that you have been profoundly touched by heaven. What once had the power to drain you no longer holds your energy captive. The bitterness and cynicism that may have lingered behind your smile are entirely gone. You now radiate something entirely different because, on a soul level, you are something entirely different. You have powerfully transitioned from a life of constant striving to a life of full surrender. And this deep foundational change can never remain hidden. Remember the story of Joseph? He was once a forgotten prisoner, covered in dust, betrayed by those he helped. But the day arrived when Pharaoh summoned him. Before he entered that royal palace, Joseph did not go in his former condition. Scripture specifically records that he shaved, changed his garments, and walked in as a completely new man. That external physical act was not based on vanity. It was an act of prophecy. He was not preparing for people's temporary approval. He was preparing for destiny's imminent arrival. When God chooses to elevate you, He does not want the world to recognize the person you were. He wants them to witness the magnificent being you have become. You too are currently in this preparation phase. Heaven has been subtly and quietly altering your entire personal atmosphere. The things that used to attract you now hold no appeal. The music you listen to, the colors you are drawn to, the subtle cravings you have, all of it is gently evolving because your spirit is recalibrating your inner and outer environment. This is not about changing your style. It is entirely about aligning your soul. You are actively becoming the living reflection of your purpose, the physical embodiment of your true assignment. When God declared, "I am doing a new thing," he did not simply mean he was changing your path. He meant he was changing you. Do not be surprised when some people begin to act differently around you. They will instinctively sense the change before they can rationally define it. Some will be powerfully drawn to your new light, while others may feel compelled to distance themselves. This is a natural law of energy. When your personal energy upgrades, not everyone can maintain the same proximity. You have simply become too spiritually valuable for your past. Never apologize for your glow. It is the glorious price of your obedience. God has been clothing you in grace, wrapping you securely in peace, and adorning you with favor. Every cell in your being has been touched and renewed by His hand. This magnificent transformation is a fundamental divine preparation. The reason you are becoming so noticeably radiant is because you are about to be fully seen. Heaven does not meticulously polish what it has no intention of presenting. Just like Joseph's fresh garments and Esther's perfumes, God is meticulously orchestrating your presentation. He is dressing you not for generic attention, but for specific recognition, the only kind that divine alignment can truly bring. You may not yet realize it, but this profound glow is your heavenly announcement. It is God's unmistakable way of whispering that the long season of waiting is nearing its end. Every time you look in the mirror and see that deep peace, that surprising softness, that quiet strength, know that it is not coincidence. That is God communicating, you are ready. And the ultimate beauty in all of this is that this deep change did not come from frantic effort. It emerged from your complete surrender. You did not have to force it. You simply became it. The caterpillar never struggles to transform into a butterfly. It simply yields its form to the process. You yielded your will and heaven powerfully responded. Now the world will finally witness what your spirit has known all along. You are being meticulously refined, not for mere survival, but for revelation. You are not glowing because of what you recently achieved. You are glowing because of what you courageously released. The light you now carry is the absolute living proof that something divine and life-altering is swiftly approaching. The person God has chosen for you will recognize this instantly, not merely by sight, but by a deep spirit-level intuition. When they finally look upon you, they won't just see conventional beauty. They will feel peace. They will sense a profound return home. And in that life-changing moment, your entire transformation will have fulfilled its ultimate purpose. Every flicker of radiance on your face, every trace of serenity in your eyes, every quiet confidence in your presence will powerfully whisper one core message to their soul. You have found them. And that specific, divine recognition is now closer than you could possibly imagine. The sacred shift in mindset. There is a precise point in every chosen soul's journey where the internal battlefield completely shifts focus. It moves from outside circumstances to inside the mind. This is a silent, profound revolution that begins without any conventional warning. One day your thoughts about love and destiny are consumed by fantasy, and the next, a deep clarity pierces through like a divine lightning bolt. You suddenly stop romanticizing chaos. You cease idolizing pain disguised as passion. You stop the futile chase after people who merely reflect your old wounds. And you begin to crave something truly sacred. Peace, stable partnership, and shared purpose. This is not a sign of emotional weakness. This is a profound awakening. Heaven has officially begun the process of rewiring your mind specifically for divine love. When you achieve spiritual alignment, the superficial illusions that once powerfully intoxicated you lose all their flavor and appeal. You no longer crave a partner who makes your heart race but simultaneously makes your soul ache. You no longer desire intense passion that burns out quickly, but never bothers to build. Now your spirit craves deep, unwavering stability. Now you desire the one who can genuinely pray with you, build a life beside you, and dream a shared future with you. This mental shift is not random. It is irrefutable proof that you have graduated from a mindset of survival to one of divine strategy. God will never send His sacred promise to a mind that is still deeply addicted to self-sabotage and distraction. That is precisely why He had to fully renew your thinking before He could reveal your person. Scripture reminds us, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That renewal is the profound, active experience you are in right now. Your mind is no longer chasing old harmful patterns. It is actively recognizing purpose. The old fantasies are dissolving because your matured spirit no longer feeds on them. Where you once longed for temporary excitement, you now deeply crave enduring peace. Where you once sought external validation, you now only desire spiritual alignment. You no longer dream of being passively rescued. You are actively preparing to build. That is the unmistakable signature of divine evolution. This mental transformation did not come easily. God had to break old cyclical patterns of thought, dismantle deeply held illusions, and expose the counterfeit loves you once glorified. He permitted your heart to break. Not as a punishment, but as a reprogramming mechanism. Pain became the spiritual scalpel, skillfully removing the illusions that kept you mentally bound. You had to outgrow the former version of yourself that consistently mistook chaos for genuine connection. Now you are fully awake. Your spirit has simply outgrown temporary people and temporary pursuits. This is a truth few grasp. Divine love requires a divine mindset. You cannot receive something holy and eternal while operating from a carnal, wounded way of thinking. God had to patiently teach you how to discern pure energy, not just fleeting emotion. He had to train you to recognize peace as attraction, not confusion as chemistry. He had to show you that true love is not found in spectacular fireworks, but in a solid, sacred foundation. Now your heart beats with a slower, more intentional rhythm. Your life decisions are deeply purposeful. Your desires have spiritually matured into clear, focused prayers. And because of this profound internal shift, heaven is already adjusting your physical path. Your person, the one specifically chosen for you, is undergoing the very same transformation, somewhere else in the world. They are experiencing their own spiritual awakening, their own mental cleansing, their own personal shift from fantasy to faith. You both needed to be reprogrammed before you could safely meet. Otherwise, you would have recognized each other too soon and ruined the timing and the depth of the connection. The partnership God writes must begin in the language of wisdom, not the flawed communication of old wounds. This is why, lately, you have been quieter, more observant. You have stopped attempting to explain yourself to people who cannot possibly understand your inner peace. You have stopped engaging in unnecessary chaos merely to feel alive. That is divine intelligence actively working through you. You are fundamentally becoming the exact kind of person that true, lasting peace belongs to. You are being precisely refined into the vibrational frequency that heaven calls ready. So, if you've been wondering why your deep desires have changed so suddenly, why your prayers sound profoundly different, why your standards feel so sacred and non-negotiable, it is because the divine shift is now complete. You are no longer thinking as someone who merely hopes for love. You are thinking as someone who is completely prepared for it. The one meant for you will not arrive to awaken an old void. They will immediately recognize the spiritual fullness that is already present in you. They will effortlessly match your peace, deeply honor your calling, and powerfully multiply your God-given strength. When that divine encounter finally happens, you will look back and understand that every heartbreak was a crucial lesson. Every single delay was a necessary divine surgery. Every lonely night was a quiet classroom where God painstakingly taught you how to think like destiny. Because before he could hand you what you desperately prayed for, he first had to teach you how to keep it. So, fiercely guard this profound new mindset. It is the sacred gateway to your promise. The mind you possess now is holy territory, heaven's blueprint for your true partnership. You have definitively entered a new frequency. You are no longer merely dreaming. You are remembering what was spiritually written. Somewhere, your counterpart's mind just made the exact same shift at the precise divine moment. Two souls who were once wandering in confusion are now perfectly aligned in wisdom. The eventual meeting is inevitable. The divine timing is closer than you can even imagine. The sacred stillness and intercession. There comes a point on your spiritual journey where the external noise fades away and heaven invites you into a profound, sacred stillness. This is not an experience of barren emptiness. It is a profound form of divine protection. The silence in your life does not mean that nothing is happening. It means that everything is happening, but it's unfolding in secret. God intentionally hides what he is finishing and perfecting. You used to openly discuss your dreams, your desires, and your fervent prayers. But now you feel a deep internal pull to guard them fiercely. You no longer feel the need to explain to everyone what you are waiting for. You have consciously entered a holy hush, and it is within this hush that the most profound divine connections are eternally sealed. When heaven is finalizing what is definitively yours, it demands absolute privacy, not because the outcome is uncertain, but because the process is sacred. You begin to instinctively sense that some things are far too holy and precious to expose to the judgment of curious eyes or the energy of skeptical minds. So you stop the oversharing. You cease seeking external validation. You stop making premature announcements about what hasn't yet fully manifested. Like Mary, when the angel informed her she would carry the Savior, you learn to ponder these things quietly in your heart. She didn't post it. She didn't broadcast it. She protected it. This is because revelation without maturity attracts spiritual attack. That is the crucial lesson God is patiently teaching you now, how to quietly carry what is divine. And as you protect your own heart, something deeply mysterious begins to unfold. You start to pray for someone you have not yet personally met. It feels strange initially. You find yourself whispering prayers like, "Lord, keep them safe, heal their heart, strengthen their faith." You feel a distinct emotional pull toward a presence you have never physically seen. This is not a mere fantasy. It is profound intercession. The Holy Spirit within your being is actively speaking to the Spirit within theirs. This is possible because in heaven, the eternal bond already fully exists. Your souls are learning each other's spiritual language long before your bodies ever meet in the physical realm. This is the profound beauty of divine timing. Connection always begins in the unseen. Somewhere, your future partner may be praying the exact same way. They are feeling the same unexplainable burden to intercede for someone whose name they do not yet know. Their prayers are spiritually brushing against yours in the heavenly realm, creating a powerful vibration that heaven instantly recognizes as readiness. You both are being perfectly synchronized by prayer, not by simple chance or luck. And understand this deeply. Silence is not a sign of inactivity. It is a time of gestation. Just as a seed achieves its strongest growth underground, divine relationships are often birthed in secrecy and solitude. What is powerfully forming between you and that person is being nurtured in the rich soil of spiritual preparation. Every time you consciously choose to pray instead of worry, to trust instead of announce, you are actively watering that unseen connection. Heaven is watching your discretion, patiently testing your heart, and shaping your soul to responsibly handle the magnitude of what is rapidly approaching. Even Job's spectacular breakthrough only arrived the moment he prayed for others. Scripture states the Lord restored his fortunes when he prayed for his friends. Why? Because intercession fundamentally breaks the wall of self-focus. When you begin to genuinely pray for another person's well-being, especially one you haven't met, you instantly step into the mighty flow of divine, selfless love. It ceases to be about what you want. It becomes entirely about what God wishes to accomplish through you both. That shift alone opens doors that a lifetime of striving could never access. You might mistakenly believe your prayers are floating into silence, but they are actively building a spiritual bridge. Every whispered "protect them" sends light into their path. Every "heal them" smooths the way for your eventual meeting. Every "prepare their heart" becomes a sacred seed that will bloom at the exact perfect moment God decides to bring you together. This is not merely poetry. It is spiritual physics. A love created and ordained by God travels faster than time, is stronger than distance, and goes deeper than human logic. As you continue to intercede, you will begin to feel an intense, calm certainty that you are no longer passively waiting. You are actively aligning. You will wake up one morning and sense a deep peace residing where impatience used to dwell. That is the sign. That is the definitive proof that heaven is finalizing what it started. Your heart and theirs are being perfectly fine-tuned to the same divine frequency. You are no longer frantically asking, "When will they come?" Because your spirit already knows. They are already on their way. So remain steadfast in this sacred silence. Protect it diligently. Do not allow your impatience to push you to speak prematurely. When God is masterfully crafting something eternal, He does it in secret. The angels are still meticulously adjusting the crucial details, the precise timing, and the final pathway. Your quiet, trusting cooperation is, in this season, your loudest act of faith. Every word you consciously choose not to speak becomes a protective shield. Every prayer you speak becomes a connecting bridge. And soon, much sooner than you can logically imagine, this invisible thread you've been praying along will pull taut. You will simply look up, and the one you've been interceding for will be standing right before you, their eyes familiar, their soul already known. And in that moment you will realize that you never prayed into silence at all. You prayed directly into destiny. So hold the silence close. Keep interceding, because while you are whispering their sacred name into the heavens, someone, somewhere, is already powerfully whispering yours back. And when those two specific prayers finally collide, the impossible will no longer be distant. It will be standing directly in front of you, the threshold of fulfillment. The atmosphere is undeniably shifting. You can feel it, that deep, compelling stirring in your chest, that quiet, certain knowing that the divine moment is drawing rapidly near. Every wave of restlessness you felt, every intentional separation, every hidden internal transformation, every prayer you whispered into the darkness, none of it was ever random. It was all meticulous preparation. Heaven has been expertly sculpting you in silence, aligning every single heartbeat, every thought, every breath with the undeniable moment that is about to unfold. You were never simply waiting alone. God has been patiently waiting with you, perfecting the precise timing, purifying the path, and shaping you into the strong vessel that can finally hold a destiny that once would have surely slipped through your unprepared hands. This is not the end of a long season. This is the sacred threshold of fulfillment. The final alignment is almost absolutely complete. Heaven does not rush its processes because what is truly divine does not break under the pressure of time. It blossoms and matures within it. The delay you experienced was not a denial of your prayer. It was an intricate, necessary choreography. Heaven was weaving your soul and that person's soul into one divine, unbreakable rhythm. Two individual souls were being shaped in separate rooms, soon to meet at the inevitable door of destiny. When the encounter occurs, it will not feel forced or fragile. It will feel like instant, deep recognition, a peace so profound it will instantly silence every fear you ever held. So I urge you, do not chase after it. Do not panic. Do not attempt to prematurely open doors that are still being meticulously carved by angels. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. What is coming carries immense weight, a clear legacy, and a powerful divine intention. That is the fundamental reason why the preparation process has felt so intensely heavy. Heaven only refines and polishes what it plans to crown with glory, and you, the chosen one, are about to wear the blessing you once only dared to pray for. Lift your head high. Breathe in the expectation. You have victoriously made it through the very tests that were designed to break your spirit. And now you stand firmly on holy ground. What was previously unseen will very soon become undeniable. What was delayed will be rapidly delivered. Every single tear you shed was a currency. Every silence was a seed planted. Every battle was a necessary step in building strength for the blessing. So hear this message clearly. Your wait was never empty. It was a crucial divine strategy. You were being shaped to receive, not to frantically chase. And when God decides that the perfect time is right, absolutely nothing, no distance, no delay, no interference, will be able to stop the meeting that heaven has already written into existence. The divine appointment is already set. You don't need to try to find it. It will find you. The divine meeting is closer than you can even comprehend. It is already powerfully moving toward you, guided by the exact same hand that faithfully led you through every single storm you have faced. So stand still in your faith, because what is coming will arrive wrapped in peace, not chaos, in absolute clarity, not confusion, and in undeniable confirmation, not mere guessing. Now take this singular moment and declare your readiness with absolute certainty. Type in the comments, "I'm ready for divine timing." Let heaven witness your agreement. Let the spiritual realm hear your clear, resounding yes. Because once you align your spoken words with your deepest faith, The season of waiting immediately transforms into the season of birthing. This final moment is not a coincidence. This is the profound culmination of everything. Your name has been called in heaven, and what is written specifically for you is already powerfully on its way. Get ready. The timing is now.